Coming to you live from the It's Funny Studios, I'm Doug.
I'm Greg.
And this is Mike.
And this is the It's Funny That Makes It Okay podcast. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You are back with us on another beautiful Monday. 3 weeks until Christmas.
Wow.
It is hard to believe.
Ho, ho, ho.
If you're quiet, you can probably hear our jingle bells. Nope, nothing here.
I would have had some prepared if you had
We're
said
wearing compression shorts today, so you don't hear the jingle bells. That's from another episode.
I say, even without the compression shorts, if you're hearing those, we got problems.
Clanging around. All right. So
That's what the giant brass sound I heard.
Probably more like a ting, ting, ting. I don't know, the giant brass.
Who's playing the triangle?
Yeah. It's pretty cold down here in the studio, so.
It is kind of chilly.
All right.
It was cold.
It was cold. I was in the pool. Oh, no, that's not right. All right. Well, I'll give a quick rundown, and then we'll go around and see what everybody's got. I think Greg said he has something at the top of the show.
A couple little things.
Then we got segment one. We're going to talk about some animal stuff. Dogs, and wild turkey. No, we're not talking about Mike's shower habits. This is something else.
Whoa, what?
Wild turkey.
It's a drink.
It's a whiskey.
151.
For
See,
those of you that don't know.
I don't get that fancy in the shower.
Oh, okay.
Bartender's just there to crack open the
He's not mixing your cocktails.
cap for me. No, he's not. He's not that great of a bartender. He just
You need
pops
a
the
dude
cap
in the
for
shower
me.
to open to open the beer bottle?
Well, Doug apparently puts him in the shower, but that's not where he is.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, he's prior to the shower.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So he
So when
hands
you
me
come
the
in-
drinks
He's
on
on
the
the
way
hall.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he hand you a towel?
No, but he should.
He should.
I agree.
I figured he'd have it over his arm, take it off and throw it to you and
You know what? He's slacking.
dispense some.
He doesn't mix my drinks. He doesn't give me my towels.
Well, some nights when Mike comes down the hall, he's got the velvet rope up, and he doesn't let him in the
sorry,
shower.
Mike, you're not on the
You're
list.
not on the
What?
list tonight.
Well, I'm always on the
Oh,
list.
okay.
The VIP room.
I'm the one and only guy on the
There
list.
we go.
Mike's going back to the VIP room.
But after our animal stories, we're going to talk about a man who might have dodged a bullet or not. We don't know. But
I think he did.
why don't because I don't think it said if this couple was still together or not. So, but he at least it's a red flag.
He dodged some bullet.
He's got some information, and then we're going to talk maybe a couple of Christmas gifts and toys from Christmas past. This week, I think we're going to do 60s and 70s. Next week, we're going to do kind of 80s through the 2000s. So it'll just be the 80s. I was kind of the early 80s. I did some toys, but we're
getting past toy
I kind of
age for
aged
me at
myself
that point.
out, and then Mike
I'll
Mike
age in.
was born in the mid 90s, so that mid 80s to mid 90s is going to be a little bit of a blank spot. So we'll have a little bit of early 80s and then more late 90s and 2000 stuff.
I think early 80s, I got my Trans Am because of that toy. I didn't get it for Christmas.
I had a Trans Am too, but it was a Matchbox. So not quite the same.
No, it's not.
It's a little harder to pick up chicks in that. But
Hey, baby.
hey, baby. All right. So how's everybody doing? Good?
Good,
Everybody
good.
Thanksgiving and
Excellent.
yeah,
it
ate
was-
too much, but it was
Yeah, it
good.
went really well, though.
All right. Well,
For the most part.
For the most part.
Which brings me to my gripe.
Uh-oh.
So over the weekend, you guys put up lights on your house for Christmas, right?
No.
Some.
Oh, yeah.
A few.
What are you talking? Lights? What?
Lights,
Oh.
external lights.
Well,
Exterior.
I can see the guy in my neighborhood who does the whole display. I can see his lights from here, actually.
Can you really? Lighting up the sky.
He does quite the show.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yes, he does.
But for my part, I do put up some lights.
Yeah. Did you have any problems with them this year?
When is there not problems putting up lights? I had to go.
Any specific problems?
Well,
Actually, no. This was the one year I didn't really have any problems other than I had to go get some new lights because we kind of changed up the front of the house. I used to have a deck. We had some basement problems, so I had to pull the deck off, and then I just had a patio poured. So some of my stuff that I had before wasn't really going to go.
Kind of hard to hang around the edge of the concrete.
A little hard. I did put a little garland right around the edge. No. So I got some icicle lights and hung from the gutter, which I've never done before, but I like them.
Are they the actual like icicles that look like icicles?
Yeah, they're not like just the wire that hangs. It's an
Like
actual
mine.
like plastic icicle that hangs.
Yeah.
And they flash. I like them.
Yeah.
And then we have 3 little Christmas trees that we put out there, and we bought a little kind of wicker looking snowman. And we already had some lighted, like 3 lighted gifts boxes or something. And then last year or 2 years ago, I bought an old sled, the old rail sled. You know, it's got the metal rails on them and everything. And I always decorated that, and so I redecorated it, put some lights on it, put a wreath on it, and put that out front. And then we still have our porch off to the side, and I decorated it about the same as we always do.
Yeah.
But went well.
Oh, that's surprising.
No problems other than the 14 trips to Menards.
Well, that goes with any house
that's
project.
all. I mean, that's just
I don't
the
care
way
if it's
that
lights or.
Well, mine, prior to hanging them, I lined the garage, kind of through the front walkway, and then I did them over the gutters down our column out front. So, decent coverage. It's not a ton of lights. It's like 4 or 5 strands, I think, in total. But I tested them all before I, go up to the trouble of putting them up. Test them. They all look great. Well, the very first day I had them up, I came home and half the chunk right on the middle of the gutters was out. I'm like, oh, that's a great look. Even though it worked literally hours before when I plugged it in to test
Of course.
It's got to be the middle. It can't be like the first or the last.
No.
That you can just pull off.
No. So that resulted in me going to buy new strands. It's like, whatever.
Because you can't leave it.
Well, no.
One thing I did find, the Christmas stuff this year, ridiculously expensive.
It is
lights.
expensive.
I mean, I could not believe the price of for that strand of icicles. It was $25. I bought one strand, 16 feet.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't have the fancy icicle lights or anything. I just got the
I had one strand.
the mini
I bought
LEDs.
Well, I was going to get the bigger LED lights,
like C9s or
Yeah.
because that's what I had. Those were $12.99 a pack, and I would have need 2. So I'm like, well, here's one, and it's the exact length I need.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about plugging it, 2 strands together and all this. Like I just went with that.
Yeah. So I had to basically take down the first strand because I'm not messing with the 60 bulbs. I'm not trying to find the one in there that's like bad. So
I've done that many times.
I just took them down. So I basically had to hang them up twice.
Yep,
but I took them down off the gutters.
Well, that's the fun part. You get to do it twice.
Well, I had it nice and neat too the first time, but the second strand I was just over it. So I mean, they don't look bad, but you can tell they're more rushed.
Somebody driving by, boy, he was really haphazard when he did that.
They look fine.
They're just a wadded up ball thrown on top of the roof. Done. I'm done with this.
It's I really hid well where I had to, because I do have to get 2 strands to connect kind of towards the end of my gutters. So that part where I have the plug-ins,
I think he's giving you the friend symbol for flipping somebody off.
So.
He's banging his two hands together.
Yeah.
I'm mimicking the plug-in symbol. You're plugging them in.
Yes, plug them together.
Yeah.
So that was the extent of the pain, though.
Yep. Basically, just had to do it twice.
Yeah. Well, real quick. So that's my gripe this week. Is I normally, I have the icicle lights, not the kind Doug's talking about, but just these string ones that hang down, And I've always used incandescent bulbs, the strings of them. But every year it's inevitable that I'm like you, I have a section that doesn't work. But fortunately, it's usually when I plug them in the garage and then before I go out. But every year I end up replacing at least one string of those. So this year I thought, well, I'm going to just switch it. I want to go to LED. I want to get LED lights. But then I worry, is it going to be that bright blue color that I hate? Because I like the soft white. And LED, it's hard to find a soft white. So I found some Philips ones on Amazon.
So those were the only ones I could find.
Were the
soft white LEDs. I didn't see any colored ones.
Yeah, and that's mine are soft. Mine are white. And they're supposedly soft white. They're not bad. But when I was buying them off Amazon, and people were saying, well, there's a slight flicker in the LED when you plug them in. It's like, well, I don't want them to flicker. Because have you ever seen that where LED lights kind of have like a strobing-like effect to them?
I'm trying to think if I have or not. I
don't want to have a seizure in the front yard while I'm looking at my lights. I mean, but I went ahead and ordered them. So I needed 114 linear feet of lights because I went down the side of the house this year too. So I've got the front, which was 28 feet, and then I've got the rest of it goes in the 2-story part. So I ordered them, got them here. I started putting them up at 11 o'clock Saturday morning, and I got done at almost 4 o'clock putting them up. Just those, no other outdoor lights, just those lights. And the reason is why can they not pack them somehow so that when you pull them out of the box, they're already stretched and hang nicely? No, you got to open these and they're all scrunched up and you got to pull each strand down. Well, I've got 1,200 lights.
It's cold. They were in the pool.
It was cold.
They're all shriveled up.
They were shriveled.
They warm up. They expand. They get a little longer, a little bigger, a little fuller.
Yes, I did warm them up and they got longer.
Yes.
Cue the triangle
We've
again.
all been there.
But I started to pull on them. But it's 1,200 lights. I had to go through each one of those strings and pull it to stretch it out.
So if I was given a signal for something earlier,
Greg's signal was way worse. I'd much rather have Mike's signal. Give it to me.
I wasn't cued in on what this meant earlier, but now I know.
Oh, but we all were cued in on what Greg was doing.
Pulling lights.
Pulling lights.
So,
making them longer.
So yeah, it's just that why can't they now next year it won't be too bad because I'll take them off and carefully put them in totes and they'll be nicely laid out and then when I pull them out, but then something will work. But
I don't know what magic happens to lights when you fold them up. Because I opened the box and they were not in there how I folded them up.
Yeah, they do kind of.
In the 300 something days you put them in that box to when you take them out,
something.
I don't know
happen.
what happens in that box, but it is not.
And a set that was working when you took it down suddenly is not working any longer when you pull it out of the tote. It's like, what happened? It's been in the tote. How can it stop working? What happened? Yeah. But anyway, so it took me 5 hours to hang these stupid bulbs up.
One, you really enjoy hanging lights up from the height of.
I don't go up there and do it though. I got a stick, so which is also not easy.
Well, how are you reaching up and pulling all the strands?
No, I pull them before I put them up.
Well,
so on the ground, I lay them out and I pull them to stretch them out. Then I take I've got this stick I bought it holds these plastic
shove
clips.
a stick in,
and push it up, and then clip it on.
Okay.
So yes,
got it.
I finally got them up, and
they look
working.
Nice.
Thank you.
Maybe you should just leave them up all year round.
Well, I saw that.
I've seen it. Oh,
yeah, it's just like there's lights hanging on people's houses.
I can't do that.
I can't either. That drives me nuts.
No, and if you're out there listening and you do that,
stop it.
Take them down.
What is the matter with you?
You got till the latest.
You're ruining the neighborhood.
I'd say the latest. If you're in a bad weather climate area, you got at the latest into February.
Yeah.
To get them down.
You turn them off like January 2nd or 3rd. They got to come off then. Yeah. I'll give you through the New Year's, even the day after New Year's, but then you got to turn them off.
Yes.
Unplug them.
Yeah.
And if you want to wait till the weather gets nice, into February, they got to come down.
Yeah, you're going to have at least one nice day in there to take them down.
They got to come down.
For me, the first nice weather day is when they go up, and then the first nice weather day is when they
come down. Down. So that's that. That's my gripe is out there having to pull on my lights. Now, real quick update on another story we talked about over the last couple weeks was the first annual Morton Christmas Parade. I went to that.
The mini parade.
The cops were there. The cops blocked the roads off.
Because originally they had said that they weren't going to.
They weren't going to. Well, then I guess it turned out
that's what they had said.
Yeah.
Or somebody had said that the police said they weren't going to.
So I guess it turned out they were blocking the roads, and they did, but they only put cones out suggesting that you park somewhere else. It was like, this is a suggestion, and not required that you have to park somewhere else.
So it's like the speed limit.
So I guess if you got, if you got in there before the cops blocked the road off, you could have parked on Main Street. But there was a suggestion, these cones were all set up that said, suggestion to park in the parking lot on the, block away or whatever.
Why would you want to park in the route of the parade?
So
Unless
they
you were
throw
going to the
candy
parade.
at your car. Sit in your car.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
So I went to the parade, and earlier on I shared you all the rules of the parade that you no semis,
no politicians.
no politicians.
I think there were no tumbling or.
Yeah. Well, I saw that one broken. There was a group of a girl dance class that 2 of the little girls did backhand springs and cartwheels. They were tumbling. I was waiting for a cop to come over and just beat him with his billy club.
No tumbling.
There's no tumbling in this parade.
It's an elf. An elf comes out and smacks him with a big candy cane. Whap!
It's the ones that mess with the lights and
We
the
said
toads.
no tumbling.
Yeah.
Can you not read? But they tumbled. I saw them with my own eyes. I didn't report them.
I'm
You
sure
should
they.
have went
I'm
on
sure they,
Facebook.
Yeah. And then my other
Sure they were
complaint with the
caught.
whole parade was people control your kids. Holy, we had our 2 grandkids
People
there.
don't control their kids.
No,
there,
they
right?
need to.
Okay, gotcha.
We had our 2 grandkids there, and they're, the furthest they got away from the curb was about 3 feet. We'd let them get that far. The ones next to us, they're out at the yellow line in the center of the road. They're over piling in front of our grandkids, trying to take all the candy that's being thrown out. It's like, come on, get your kids back over there and get them closer to the curb.
Did you say something?
No.
You should have said something. Call them out.
I was going to call the cop and tell him.
well, the elves were too busy beating the tumblers, so
Well, yeah,
they
the
wouldn't have
tumblers.
helped. But
Yeah. But yes, we've seen that at the Pumpkin Festival parade too. Kids just get out of hand, get out there. They're going to get run over.
I feel like most kids though are.
You run over a kid or 2, and that'll stop that.
It will.
I feel like most kids are decent at that. Actually, I've seen
Most. This group was not.
but you're always going to get the outliers.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
And they're usually next to me.
When it goes, it's the parents. The kids just do what the parents allow them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even after the parade was over, the kids were still out there in the middle of the road. Finally, a cop did come up and say, hey, you got to get back to the side. We're opening the road again.
As a parent, why would you let your kid just run wild? I could not stand that.
No. Nope. So.
Well, had you said something as Doug suggested you did, you would have been the bad guy.
Oh, of
yeah,
course you would have.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just like, corral your kids. Come on. So, all right. That's my couple of thingies.
That's it?
Yep. No McDonald's this week.
It's a Christmas
I don't have
miracle.
anything either.
No fast food, no nothing.
You got anything, Mike?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess I do have a kind of a restaurant thing, but it's not really about the restaurant. I want to.
Sort of a restaurant?
Let me ask you this. How do you, now we know how Greg feels, so this is more towards Mike, but how do you feel about animals, dogs specifically, inside of a business, coming into a business? I see it a lot anymore.
Yeah.
Well, this is coming from a guy who has 2 dogs, and I'm assuming this is happening at a restaurant. So, in my experience, my 2 dogs beg constantly at the dinner table and are very annoying, very in the way. So I'm going to say I'm not probably going to be a fan of. If I saw like a pet or an animal in a restaurant that I'm going to eat at, that's a no-go for me. And honestly, it could be a service animal that's just hanging out somewhere, minding its business, and it's.
What
just
about
the
a
thought of it is
non-restaurant?
kind of
Does that make a difference, or do you?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like if it's like a Menards or whatever.
I see them at Farm and Fleet all the time.
If I'm going to get the 3rd strand of Christmas lights, on the 4th trip, that doesn't bother me as much.
See, I don't think we need the dogs in every place, unless it's a service dog. You're in there, and by service dog, I mean you're blind.
Yes, there's a specific
I don't mean
reason.
that. Hey, I get nervous if I don't travel with my dog, and so you carry this
Or
little
my bunny
mutt
or my
around with you.
snake or my.
That is. I don't need that. And this is. I have 2 dogs. I love dogs. But they're dogs. You don't need to take them to every store you go to.
I'm going to say that it's a hard no for me at a restaurant. If I'm eating or if people are eating there, that's a hard no.
Now, Petco, PetSmart, I mean, those are fine.
Dog stores.
Yes, fine. The dogs go. Have no problem. But sometimes they have dogs in there. They don't bother me, but I would understand if somebody went into like Menards to go get something and they come around the corner and you've got a big dog there. Some people are afraid of dogs. And they're like,
if they were attacked from the school bus every day walking home.
yes.
It gives you a little fear of dogs.
If they were attacked.
Yes, if that would happen to someone.
If you come to my house, you're afraid of dogs.
But I just don't think that you need to take them to every place you go. I agree.
I agree.
Now, my wife and I, a few weeks ago, I've been saving this one, I forgot. So a few weeks ago, we went to Pizza Ranch. I don't know if that's a national place, but it's
I had a feeling it's
kind of a buffet. They got chicken and pizza and salad, and it's
dessert pizza.
Not my favorite, but it's okay.
It's borderline place for me. It's like
now, granted, I don't mean this in a bad way, but when you go, there's a certain clientele that goes to that restaurant, and you kind of know that if you lined up.
That's Doug Meeks.
I don't care. I will completely own it. I'm telling you right now. If you lined up 10 people and you said 3 of them were at Pizza Ranch, you would be fairly. I think you could pick out the 3 that went there 80% of the time.
Did they go to Walmart afterwards?
They might have, or came from Walmart. But am I wrong? I'm saying it, but am I wrong?
No.
Is there a certain but I go clientele? There. I have gone there.
So I'm one of those people.
Well, I said 80% of the time. There are the exceptions.
I could be the 20%.
But as a rule, you're going to be able to pick them out. Look, I will say the unpopular things. It's the truth. It's the truth. They look a certain way.
I like how Doug
odds are
to come up with the percentages to carve out the exceptions. You know, it's like, we are the exception.
No, it's not fair because most of them would be on the little scooter or rascal when they come in. So in your lineup, if you see that, that's an automatic, okay, they were at the buffet. They were there.
Honestly,
and probably at Walmart.
I say honestly, I don't see that many of those there. I mean, I see a lot of mobility problems.
They can't get it around the buffet. They can't get up. They can't get as close to the dessert pizza with that. They're able to walk for the dessert pizza.
It would be like trying to drive a semi around a 2-block parade.
It would be. It would not be easy. It would not be easy at all. Anyway, so my wife and I are there. I see these 4 people come in, or 3 people. And the one woman has this little chihuahua. Now we'll say this.
Shouldn't they have been at Taco Bell?
I'm not a fan. It didn't look like it was a long-haired chihuahua, and it didn't look like it was full-blooded. It was a very cute little dog. It really was. Kind of had the markings of like a border collie or an Australian shepherd, kind of that a merle type look to it. And it had long hair. They had a little sweater on it.
Did it have a bow?
It was shaking.
Did it have a bow in its hair?
No. And I will give them this. The dog was super good. It never barked. It never whined.
Well, then it was better than some of the kids that are.
It was better than the people at the table. Maybe the people at the table were there with the dog. I don't know. But they came in. They went and got their stuff. They sat the dog on the chair next to him. Okay, so I thought, well, is this some kind of again? If it's a service dog, what is a Chihuahua doing for you? It's scared to death.
How does a service dog lead just like, okay, give me some pepperoni? Like, take me. How does that work in a buffet?
I don't know, but
that was after they got their puppuccino at Starbucks.
They set the dog on the chair. They went and got some food. One of them would stay at the table all the time. But like I said, the dog was really good. It just sat there looking around, just quiet. But while we're eating, I look over. They had put napkins down, and they were taking food off their plate and putting it, the chicken and little piece. And the dog is eating at the table, not on the table.
I don't think they have a dog price.
It was eating off the chair, but still, I said, that's it. I don't know that I can come here. I'm not a fan of here anyway. I'm not coming here on a regular basis. But this might have been the straw that is like, I'm done. I'm out. I can't do this. It drove me nuts. I wanted to just, I wanted to get the manager like, you can't have people with a dog in here. Again, unless it's a seeing eye dog. That's it.
And it's probably not going to eat. Because I've seen them in there before.
They lay
just
down.
Lay on the floor or whatever.
Sit there. That's all they do. So that was it. That's my gripe. I don't think that you need to take, unless your dog is service, and by service, I mean like a seeing eye dog. You have some kind of major medical issue that you have to have the dog. Not just you're stressed out or you get nervous or you don't like to travel without the dog.
Needed to guide you through the buffet line.
Maybe it sniffs everything, tells him what's good. That's good.
Yeah,
He
don't
points
eat
at
that.
it. Ooh, turns his head away. Stay away from the green beans.
I cannot imagine being the next person to sit at that table. You had no idea what happened. No.
Again, the dog wasn't eating off the table. It was just sitting there, and it was a really good dog. I don't want to see it at the restaurant.
That doesn't.
And I have 2 dogs. I love dogs. I don't want them at the restaurant. I don't want a dog eating off of my table. No. The dogs don't do that. No. I know people that do that, or cats. They have the cat jump up. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No cat on the table. No cat eating off of your plates.
No.
Years and years ago, we went over to some people's house. They invited us over. My son was very young. I don't know, grade school. So come over for dinner. We went. They're nice people. We're talking. We all got done with dinner. She cleans off the table. She took the plates and sat them on the floor. The dog. I already ate.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw up. I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
I pray I never see that
happen. The dog
happen.
just licked all the plates up, and she put them in the dishwasher. I know the dishwasher gets hot. It's like, don't let him lick off of the plates.
They're
that
human
I just
plates.
Ate. He's got a dish. Put it in the dish.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all I could do.
At least didn't wait till you left.
She took him, laid him right on the floor. My wife's like, she goes, I could see the look in your eyes. Like, that was fear and disgust. Like, oh my gosh, no, this is not happening.
Well, we're done eating here.
We are. Very done eating here.
Said our dogs, when we eat, will come up and they'll put their muzzles right in between our arms, as we're trying to use the utensils or whatever, and they'll beg the entire time we eat. But they're not getting scraps, or they're not eating at our table.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
No. So that was all I had on that. I just was wanting a ruling. I thumbs down. Thumbs down on the
thumbs
dog.
down.
It's a thumb down. I will give it to the dogs at the store, occasionally, but
like you said, certain stores,
it's
like, okay,
Yeah.
like I said, Farm and Fleet, there's pet supplies and things in there. It's like, okay, bring them.
Would you let them go into Kroger's? There's pet supplies in Kroger's.
There's not enough pet supplies.
Also, now we have what's the threshold? How much pet supplies do they need?
Well, see, Farm and Fleet is to me not really a food store per se. It's got some snacks and things in there, but Kroger is a food. That's what it is a food store. I mean, I don't want them in there.
Okay.
Although people bring it
Walmart?
into Kroger too. Don't love it.
no, I don't want the Walmart.
The dog doesn't want to be in Walmart. Nobody wants to be in Walmart.
Nobody wants to be in the
Nobody
Walmart.
wants to be in the Walmart.
So yeah, Menards, I'm okay.
I would give it.
I mean, Farm and Fleet, Menards, and like you said, the dog stores. I mean,
yeah.
So,
all right. Well, I got another dog story. This woman, it says this is from the New York Post. Says this woman claims to be a dog groomer, so we're going to take her at her word. Shared an email allegedly from a picky woman looking to get her rare dog groomed for the first time. It says, my name is Susan. I'm looking for a groomer for my dog who can groom him in a non-confrontational manner I believe is best for him. First off, what are they? I don't even understand. Non-confrontational? What are you like? What do you want, dog? You want a haircut? Huh?
Are most groomers that way?
Are they real confrontational?
Bring it, dog.
Says Dooley is an 18-month-old Bernal Doodle. Bernal, Bernowdoodle. Okay.
If your dog's type ends in doodle, you're probably over the top.
It says if you're unfamiliar with the more rare doodle breeds, he is a Bernese Mountain Dog, Chow, and Standard Poodle. That sounds like a mutt now. You just got 3 or 4 dogs into the. How do you mix 3 dogs? I understand the 2-dog mix. I don't know how you get the 3 dogs going.
Some weird stuff going on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. But anyway, that's what she had. And this would be his first haircut, as I have not found a groomer willing to work within the parameters I believe in.
Which there's the problem right there. The parameters I believe
Susan
in.
explained that Dooley's hair was 7 to 8 inches long, and she wanted 1 or 2 inches removed all over. While I'm sure any groomer could easily handle the haircut, I'm having difficulty finding a groomer willing to wait for him to consent to each part of the grooming. He will consent by maintaining eye contact with you while you're working. If he looks away, he's withdrawn his consent, and you will need to stop until he grants it again. This woman is insane.
Yes.
This haircut could take you 3 days. What am I going to do if the dog looks away? Is it okay? Now listen, Fluffy, I'm going to touch you here. Is that going to make you uncomfortable?
I would just hold up a dog treat in front of me.
Yeah.
So he keeps eye contact with it and
Yeah.
grants consent.
As an added challenge, Susan demanded her pooch not be leashed to a tub or forced into a cage during the salon experience, as she doesn't believe in anything that could be psychologically uncomfortable. It's a dog.
I hope she doesn't have kids.
Well, she's a nut.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Since I understand not everyone is as fluent in his language as I am, I would prefer it stayed and supervise. If I stayed and supervised his grooming to make sure you don't miss anything he's telling you.
See, you know what?
That's what you need. Is this woman sitting here and saying, "Don't touch him! Don't touch him there!" It's like,
he turned his eyes.
He took away his consent.
Yeah, you know, I think to that point, everything up until that point, if I was the groomer, I'd be like, you know, whatever. I'll play along with this dog. I'll play nice. As soon as she steps in the room, too, it's done. It's over.
Yep.
Because the dog probably would be maybe okay, you know, throughout the thing. But as soon as she's in there, trouble starts.
Yep.
You can already see it.
Yep. She says Dooley will need a bath, blow dry, brush out. He might have a few small tangles, but they'll be easy to brush out, and a full standard doodle haircut.
Well, you'd be the groomer, and then you'd be doing whatever you're doing, and then she'd stop you. She'd be like, no, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right.
To top it off, she also added this. My schedule is very busy, so this appointment can only take max of 2 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
So this email is taking 2 hours to get through because you're insane. You're a nut. So there you go. Yeah, she is saying that her dog needs to consent to every part of the grooming. You're touching, you're grooming the dog. Like, rah, 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 rah. What? No, he doesn't want you to touch him there. Well, I've got to clip him. I got to clip him here. Good luck at the vet. Wow.
Jiminy Christmas.
She gets home. She has a little dog toy. Put your paw on where he touched you. Where did he touch you? Oh, my gosh. No. Puppy.
Were your eyes giving consent at that moment?
They're at the dog park. Another dog sticks his nose in Fluffy's butt. Ah! Did you give consent? My dog did not. That's sexual harassment. Sexual assault.
Yeah. They call the cops on it.
The dog starts humping Fluffy. No, he didn't give consent. He did at the beginning, but then he took it away. Oh my gosh. So anyway, there you go. That's all I got with that.
It's like helicopter parenting for dogs.
It's worse. It's a dog.
Well, I like this paragraph here too. Further down, people are replying to this, and somebody says, as a canine behaviorist with a degree in canine behavior and 15 years experience working with reactive dogs, this is the type of owner that turns their dog into a mess. I would say a behaviorist might assist in making your dog a mess too.
She's insane. She's nuts. So that's all I had. I think Mike's got some wild turkey for us.
Wild turkey.
Well, a few episodes ago, we had a couple stories about the jackdaw.
Derek.
That's right,
Derek.
That was his name.
The jerk.
That freaking guy. And then there was also the owl. I think we came up with a name. Yeah, I think we were kind of
Oliver? I don't know what we call it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the name.
I don't either.
Chad.
But it was Chad. I think it was Chad. Because that's a jerk name.
Chad. Yeah.
So sorry to any Chad.
I'm going to tell Chad.
But it's true.
We've had, I think what's going on here, I think the birds are kind of getting fed up with the advancements of the robots and
they've had
the
enough?
monkeys.
Well, they're not real.
Well, there's another one out there. This guy's name is Kevin, and he leads.
I love how these birds have names. Who's naming the bird?
The birds are.
Maybe they are.
Kevin, he leads some bad boys, or should I say some bad girls. So Kevin is a turkey gang leader in a Massachusetts town.
Gang leader.
He's got his turkey gang. So this is in...
The gobblers.
They have little leather jackets on.
The hair slicked back.
Yeah.
This is in Woburn?
They
Woburn?
pierce
I'm
their
not...
little goblet thing.
Gross.
Some bad boys. So... Let's see. So basically, Kevin and his gang, they do the usual street hooligan shenanigans. They stop traffic, they peck, kick, and cluck loudly at the residents of Woburn. If you catch Kevin and his gang on a bad day, it says they'll even go after your children too.
Bad Kevin.
Yeah. So it says for whatever reason, this turkey gang spends a lot of their time on one woman's lawn in particular.
Smoking and
Loitering. Yes. This is what gave me flashbacks to the other stories because they seem to be targeting specific people. Her name is Megan Tolson, and she was actually the one to give Kevin his name. And she says he is the baddest turkey around.
You know that's her ex-boyfriend. Right?
it's got to be.
Or husband. Ex-husband.
Yeah.
Somebody. It's an ex.
So it also says Kevin runs with a tight all-female crew. So I don't know what Kevin's up to. But they also have names too, so I'm going to call them out. So Kevin runs with Gladys, Esther, Monica, and Patricia.
I'm not scared of any one of those names. Kevin, I'm frightened to death of. But Gladys? You're going to let a Gladys come up and cause you problems?
I don't know.
Well, if Kevin's around, I don't know.
Yeah. So Megan said...
he knows how to make them women listen.
Apparently the women are so bad. The women are more mellow and not so territorial. But Kevin, Megan says, this is coming from the woman, she says Kevin amps him up to get them going around and chasing people. So Kevin he's the boss. He kind of directs. He calls the hits.
Get out there on there right now. Go. Chase that little kid. I got your giblets right here.
It says there have been multiple reports of the birds terrorizing people and not letting them leave their homes, allegedly.
I'm going to stuff your turkey.
Well, I love how these are some defense strategies that people have done. It says a lot of people will leave brooms or rakes at their front door so that they can have them as weapons to chase off the turkeys when they need to leave. And a quote from somebody says, some days it's frustrating. I'll be like, there's an Amazon package, but I can't get it because the turkeys are out there.
22 would take care of that as well.
Yes.
Pretty quick.
This person waits till nightfall to go leave the house, to escape from the turkeys. And there's a couple videos on here too. The turkeys walk right up to the door. They peck at the door trying to get in, and they just stare at you from outside the door.
Why do I picture there's Ring doorbell footage of these turkeys taking Amazon packages and stuff?
Yeah, they're package thieves.
Rummaging through.
Yeah.
Looking for grain.
It says another unfortunate victim and resident of the town, Devin Farron, says that they're up at, I like this guy, dude. They're up at 6 a.m. in my lawn and they start chasing us, trying to pop the tires. And I think it's you're supposed to imagine Kevin pecking at the tires. No, I think Kevin's got a straight blade or something, a switchblade, and he's popping the tires, that way. And then
Come on, girls, we're going to pop some tires.
Yeah, I like it. Even here, this is my favorite part of the whole thing. They consulted a supposed turkey expert.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a supposed.
Yeah.
We don't know. He knew a lot about turkeys, but we don't know if he's an expert or not.
The supposed came from me, but I mean, the guy is
bummer.
He's a
this
turkey
says he's
expert.
actually a turkey expert.
I mean, I don't know how one gets that title, but
Doesn't deal with chickens.
Oh, no.
It's turkeys.
It says these turkeys, the problem arises when they become too comfortable with humans. So he said this happens when people feed them or from the turkeys freeloading off the bird feeders and instead of the smaller kinds of birds. And he says turkeys are just acting out what they do amongst themselves. And that he says that running away can add fuel to the fire because they'll begin to see you as subdominant to them. So I don't know what that says about turkey culture if they act out kind of what they do amongst themselves. I don't know if, Kevin and his gang is like one example of turkey culture. I don't know. I feel like there might be some avenues to explore here.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like it how that's when Kevin knows he's got you. When you start running away, Kevin's like,
"You're a mark now."
Yeah.
Boom. All right, that's it. We're going to Mike's house every morning. Look at him running.
I like that the turkey expert recommends carrying an umbrella and opening it in front of you to frighten off the birds. I picture you going whap and then pop, 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 pecking on your umbrella.
It's just Swiss cheese by the time it gets back inside. It's shredded.
And then it's got a little video gif of the two turkeys carrying guns.
Yeah. Well, hey, Kevin and his gang, they made it through Thanksgiving. So
they're all afraid of them.
They're doing something right out there.
Doing something right.
I don't know. Turkeys and birds in general, I feel like they might be up to something. They're making a push for it here.
They're a little intimidating.
Very intimidating.
Watch out for Kevin if you're in Massachusetts.
That's right.
Please.
Kevin. He's at the post office wall.
Well, pretty soon we'll have a top 10 most wanted list here of birds by name.
Yeah,
by name.
Derek,
there's Chad,
Kevin,
and Derek, and
Chad,
and Kevin.
Well, you gotta watch out for Kevin because he's got multiple subordinates. I think the other ones might be working kind of alone.
Yeah,
but hey, Kevin's got a gang, so I don't know.
It's a female gang, but
he's got a gang.
Hey, women can be way more intimidating than men.
Yes, they can.
Well, I think, Doug, you've got a story about that.
We're going to find out. I have a couple in Texas here that may be some red flags. They're a little kind of in a rocky point in their relationship. And we'll have to just look and see. It says a Texas woman breaks in and burns down her boyfriend's house.
Oh, that's
after another woman answered their FaceTime call. So, a Texas woman, 23, was arrested after she allegedly set her boyfriend's house on fire during a jealous rage after discovering another woman had answered their FaceTime call. The mystery female turned out to be the boyfriend's relative.
Oops.
Senada Sota was taken into custody on Monday and faces felony charges for burglary and arson. Her bond was set at $165,000. No one was hurt in the blaze, but the fire caused more than $50,000 in property damage.
Whew.
The bizarre ordeal happened on Sunday when Soto became enraged that her beau may have been two-timing her, and she broke into a San Antonio home and stole some of her items before setting the couch on fire that spread, causing the house to become engulfed in flames. As the house was burning, Soto then FaceTimed her lover that showed an image of the burning couch.
Oh my gosh.
Hope your stuff is going to be okay, she said. For the affidavit before driving away in her Kia Optima with the items she had stolen from the home. The person on the FaceTime call, who hasn't been revealed, turned out to be a relative of the boyfriend. So, yeah, she torched his house.
I like in her mugshot. She's kind of smiling.
Yeah. I don't think she doesn't show any
remorse.
remorse.
No, I don't think that's, very remorseful.
Yeah. This is a red flag. If you're dating somebody and a person of the opposite sex answers the video call and their first inclination is, I'm going to burn down the house. Not like, oh, who are you? Or what are you doing there? Or call and find out. Let's see who this person is. I can understand you being a little maybe curious, like, what's this about? But nope. I go from 0 to 100. That's it. I'm perfectly lovely and wonderful and loving, or I'm a crazy, nasty weirdo who's going to burn down your house and possibly kill you if you're there. And I'm also going to video it and send it to you.
Yeah, I don't believe in nuance. I'm just I'm straight to couch
There's
burning.
no nuance.
Yeah,
that's right.
I go straight to couch.
I got your hunk of burning love right here. It is. So it does not say if they're still together or not. So we don't know.
Well,
we don't.
I would venture a guess.
Oh, you know what though? There's people that will stay with somebody no matter what. They're like, yeah, I know she tried to kill me, but she really loves me.
She did it for me.
I think I would draw the line
Does
at her
she?
trying to kill me
Does she really love you?
She did it for me.
All right.
because she loves me.
Yes. Well, let's move on. With Christmas coming up, let's move on to some gifts. I found a couple
Oh,
gifts.
great! I wanted some gifts.
And like I said, we're going to this Toys of Christmas Past. We're going to talk about some 60s and 70s gifts, maybe a little bit in the early 80s.
Well, hopefully there's no more Puffy Bear because I don't want any more Puffy Bear.
Well, last week we
Well, I've
had
already
Puffy
got you
Bear.
one ordered.
Oh,
Last week we had Puffy Bear. This week,
I'll name him Kevin.
Chad, he'll dominate you.
When you run away, it's over.
This week I had an
He'll probably get in a
ad.
fight with Courtney's boyfriend pillow.
Yeah. I had
I'll have to whip him out. It'll be my only defense. It'll be my only help.
wow. You get Puffy Bear. You may be the third line at your house. I got pushed out by boyfriend pillow and Puffy Bear.
My only hope is that Puffy Bear and Boyfriend Pillow knock each other out.
There you go.
That's it. That's my only hope.
There you go. Well, I got an ad for something that reminded me a little bit of Puffy Bear. This is a dummy you can buy from Walmart. It's a Combat Sports Submission Man dummy.
Ooh.
It's $306, well, $307 plus shipping and handling.
I wonder if there was a Black Friday sale on that.
There might have been. It says the Combat Sports Submission Man dummy features an anatomically correct design. Immovable arms and legs for optimal performance. It's 80 pounds. Can be used for arm bars, passing guards, chokes, side mounts, submissions, and much more. So you can get this dummy and practice on it. Greg, we had to get you one. Let you practice throwing it around.
I'll just throw the weighted blanket on him.
How do you like your Combat Submission Man? He's terrible. He's never submitted to me once. I put him in every hold I know and nothing. He never taps out. I rolled over, he fell on top of me. I couldn't get up for 4 hours. My wife had to come in and throw him off of me.
I was tapping out for the last 3 hours.
I do. I submit. I submit. There are just a few reviews. So one of them says, it gave him 5 stars. Said, no longer lonely. Being single doesn't have to be hard. This will cuddle you at night and listen when you need to talk. Dress them up. Men's large will fit fine. 5 star. So, and then, yeah. But, so they have the Combat Submission, but when I was looking, the, Combat Sports Submission Man, but when I'm looking through there, some of the things they said, so customers also may want to consider, they have Century Junior Throwing Buddy. Is that awkward if a guy orders that? Yeah, I want the Century Junior Throwing Buddy. You have kids? Nope. No. I just need how much do you weigh? 35 pounds? Yeah, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got the 50-pound junior. I love how they give them names too. The Combat Sports 50-pound youth grappling dummy Wyatt.
Everything's got a name.
And then they have a 35-pound youth grappling dummy Brucey.
Brucey.
You get them up. I'm practicing, I want to put some kids in some submission holds. I'm going to go to the 50 pound though, because I think I'm going to go up to junior high next year. Start taking out some kids. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I thought that was an alternative, let's say, to Puffy Bear. Puffy Bear he only weighed like 8 pounds. He was.
I say this
light.
guy's a lot tougher than Puffy Bear.
This guy ain't putting up with any crap.
Well, Puffy Bear punches up.
Yeah.
He swings above his weight class.
I feel like this guy's going to do whatever he wants to in your house. He's tough. He's not going to put up with it. So I don't know if you have anything else before I move on.
No.
All right. So what started this all off is I saw someone had posted an old ad for a toy that came out it was 1950 to 51. It's called the A.C. Gilbert Company's U-238 Atomic Energy Lab.
Oh.
That sounds.
Build your own little nuclear power
So
plant.
kids nowadays, we get them, they get smartphones that they can play games on. They get all this stuff. Back in the 50s, the early 50s, we actually had an atomic energy lab. Now, in 1950, it was like $50, which is pretty
Kinda pricey
steep.
for back
pretty
then.
steep. So it was really highly priced. It came as a kit with 4 types of uranium ore. There was beta alpha, PB210, pure beta source, RU106, a gamma source, ZN65, and a spinthariscope with a cloud chamber, with its own cloud chamber, and a short-lived alpha source. So it also came with a Geiger counter, a manual, a comic book, and a government manual prospecting for uranium.
Oh, good.
Nice.
I thought this is insane. Yeah, they sent this out for kids, and it's specifically for kids. Now, probably junior high kids, granted. But it says, measure radioactivity of uranium and other ores with Gilbert electroscope, just like real scientists. Thrilling to watch Gilbert's spinthariscope show the actual atomic disintegration of radioactive material. Prospect for uranium and other radioactive ores with the Gilbert Geiger counter. May win you $10,000 government bonus. So you send that in, tell the government where there's some atomic energy, some atomic ore that they can pull out for atomic energy. But basically, yeah, you'd bring this up and create your own little atomic reactor. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I was telling you earlier, they used to, in our science class, the teacher would pass around mercury for us to look at, roll around on our desk,
They did that with us. You put it on your desk, and it's got such a high or low melting point that, yeah, it's just liquid on your desk. You can push it around.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Touch it. Yeah, roll it around. Here, have some mercury.
So let's jump off. Like I said, we're gonna start with the 60s, 70s this week. So, Mike, I'm sure some of these they're still around today. So you will have some thoughts on them, I'm sure. But Greg, I don't know. Do you want to tell? I don't want to, because I've got some, but I don't want to. If you want to start with some of yours, or
I was just thinking of some I had when I was a kid, or I wanted when I was a kid, and I mean I've got like a whole list of things. So
go ahead and go start off some of those, and then I've got some too. I've got a whole list
said
too.
My all-time favorite, and this would be more of a 70s. So do you want to stick in the 60s?
Yeah, it can go both.
Because the 70s, the Vertibird, the Mattel Vertibird was my favorite toy. It was a helicopter. Now, it was tethered to a thing out in the center. Wasn't like nowadays with drones and stuff.
Like a tower, right? Or something. That
It was a little
and
center thing with a nylon piece of material that came up to the helicopter, and you could control its up and down and forward and back motions. And you could pick up things with the little hook on the bottom of it. It was one of my favorite toys growing up. Me and a friend would have hours of fun with that Vertibird. They made a couple different iterations of it. One was on like a boat, and so the center hub thing was out on a boat, and then the helicopter would fly around the boat. But
and they had like a hook on the bottom.
Yeah,
and
to pick up things that are
Okay.
So there was that. Slot car racing.
Oh yeah, I had slot cars. Love slot cars.
Yeah, a lot of those.
Yeah, my dad had a big track that we would play with his kids on those.
Yeah, those were always fun.
They're getting you ready for nowadays with the electric cars that don't run. They should have like big metal skids on the bottom. You got to clean off with an eraser.
You have to
flip
jack
your
the car up and get under
under there with an eraser. I got to clean this off to get my car to go have better contact on the track.
Or it could be like Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the electric cars can be like that. You drive through a big garage and there's foam rollers turning that'll shoot you out the other side, and then you could go to your next location, You
just go as far as the
track
momentum
will
will
let
take.
you go.
You just come right back around. Whoop.
Yeah, played a lot with Hot Wheels cars.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Why don't you rattle off some that you
I'll say, well, Hot Wheels came out in like the late 60s, and I didn't know this Matchbox was before that. Matchbox came out in like in the 50s.
Yep. Matchboxes never rolled quite as well as Hot Wheels did, I didn't think.
Well, one of the things I had, it came out in 69. but it was all through the 70s and into the 80s. But the Nerf ball, but just Nerf in general. Nerf is huge, but the original Nerf ball came out in 1969. Loved my. We had Nerf ball. We had the Nerf basketball set. Had a Nerf football.
Yep.
The dog would destroy at some point, but
the original was just a ball.
Yeah,
it's like
a yellow
foam ball.
Yellow ball.
Well, and now you think about all the Nerf things that are out now.
Oh yeah,
Nerf has like an arsenal of hundreds of guns you can choose from that'll shoot all sorts of different ammunition at you.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think
like,
the ball is the
everything is a
least
Nerf
of it. Is
yeah,
it's all theirs.
Yep.
How about now? I don't know if Mike even knows what this. You might. Weeble wobbles. Weeble wobbles were big in the 70s.
They were
like
big.
egg-shaped.
I was a little old for them.
egg-shaped people. Weeble wobbles, but they don't fall down. So we're kind of Weeble wobbles, but we do fall down.
Yeah.
But now, but
I fell down the steps a couple weeks ago,
and you didn't pop back up like
no,
the
I
Weeble
didn't.
wobble.
I laid there for a second.
But the skateboard. Now I said the skateboard was around, but it really took off in like 1972. That what happened was they had an inventor came up with urethane wheels. Like before that, they were steel. They wouldn't
I had
roll
one with
very
the
good.
steel wheels.
They said the urethane wheels was what really kicked off
Yep.
the big push for the skateboards. In
Yeah, because I had a
72.
metal wheel one that would have been in like, I was only like 6 years old. And so it would have been like in 67. I had one of the metal wheeled ones. It was a wood skateboard with metal wheels.
Yep.
Then later, like when I was in fourth grade or so, I got that. I can picture it as clear as day. Lime green with the urethane wheels. Man, that thing rolled like a dream compared to the old metal wheels.
Now, for me, one of my favorite toys still, I love this. Evel Knievel, the stunt car. I did not have the stunt car, but they had the Evel Knievel bikes.
Yep.
Stunt car, the rocket car, all of those. The bike came with a real Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
When he'd hit, he'd break every bone in his body. You had to put him back in. No, didn't really do that, but like the
Bones
real
flying
Evel
out.
Knievel. But I loved Evel Knievel. I
Yeah.
loved the little motorcycle that had the pull string, or not a string, but like a pull plastic, almost like a zip tie.
Yeah,
but
kind of like
it's
the SSP cars they had.
yeah,
back
and
then,
it would
too.
have like teeth on one side, and it was flat on there, and you'd pull, go zzz.
Yeah, and that strap
Yeah.
would smack you
Oh,
when you
yes,
pull it out.
would.
Ah.
Yes, it would. I love that. Another very beloved toy. This came out in 1977. Mattel Electronic Football. That was
Yep,
a
I had
deal
that one.
breaker.
That's
That
the one
was
I had.
huge. Oh, that electronic football.
Oh, you're talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about
handheld.
the handheld game.
Yeah, I had
the
that time
Mattel
too.
handheld electronic football. And the original ones came out. We got it in about probably 79, and it had you could play when you played football, and it had up and down and then just forward. There was no reverse on the first one we got.
Yeah, so
It was
I
over-
think, what year did that come out? Because I think I had.
77. It said.
Oh, really?
That's
Man, it
what it
seems like
said
I had
here.
one younger than that.
Maybe you did, but this was saying 1977.
So 77. See, I'd already been 16. Man, I feel like I was younger. Maybe not.
I don't know. And then this was a fad, and we've talked about this fad before, but it sold huge. 1975 said the hot gift, the pet rock,
Oh,
So stupid.
and it sold for like $3 or
Yeah.
something, three something. And they said what did it was the packaging, because it came in a box with holes in it. It came with instructions like how to care for your pet rock.
we did not get the pet rock.
We did not get the pet rock either. So I don't know. Did you have some more? Go ahead.
I mean, I had a number of things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Growing up, I had toys from the 60s and 70s. The clackers.
Oh yeah.
They were the two big marbles on the end of a string with a washer in the middle, and you would move your hand up and down, and they would start flipping up and hitting off each other.
And they
Kill yourself
yeah,
with them.
inevitably you smack your hand.
Yep. Let's see here. The close and play record player.
Oh yeah, my brother had one that was a Flintstones.
Oh,
it
was
was a
it?
45.
Yep,
and it was
that's all you could play on
it
them.
was it looked like a rock, and it had Fred Flintstone on the top, and the handle was a bone, like a plastic bone. You'd shut it and play. Yeah,
I just had the basic red one that you'd put a 45 on,
Yep.
shut the lid, and it would play away. The Green Army Men.
love the green iron plastic,
Yeah,
the
bags
small
of
ones.
them. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. We had tons of those at our house.
Those were a great gift.
There was a big phase in the 70s, I believe, of different types of. There was one called the Incredible Edibles, and you could heat molds. Basically, is what they were. A lot of them had like plastic. I don't remember what those were, but these you could actually eat them, and they were kind of like a gummy. When after you put them in this, it was like an oven that was a mouth. And I think it heated with maybe a light bulb, like the Easy Bake Oven or something. But you would put this goo in there, shut it, and it would heat it up and make it into like kind of a gummy type thing. But they were called Incredible Edibles. I had a game called Crossfire that I loved. It's where I think that was recently they still had it. It was kind of a trapezoid shaped game. You had a gun at each end that you'd put marbles in, and you had like a disc out in the center, and you would shoot the marbles at the disc to try to shoot it to your opponent's little goal or whatever down at the end. It's called Crossfire. Skittle bowling and snap bowling, two different types of bowling, but Skittle bowl was a large pole, and you throw the ball around, and it swings out and comes back and hits the pins.
Never heard of that one either.
Never heard of Skittle bowl?
Never heard of it.
Or snap bowling. Legos, believe it or not, were big when I was that age.
But there weren't like sets of things. You just got a box with
a bunch of windows and doors.
Yeah, and then some of them were angled, like so they could be the roof. They would like have two in a long angle or a short angle. And squares and rectangles.
And you get wheels so you can make like a car or something, but they were just very basic.
Yeah, you'd have some clear ones for, like you said, windows or for the windshields for cars, but very basic.
And for the sports enthusiast, there was the electric football, not the Mattel handheld, but the other one that was a long metal. And you'd put the players on top, and it would vibrate, and the players would move around on the field when it's vibrating. Weird, but it was fun. And did you ever play the basketball game that was flip and it had
the ping pong
ball?
I still have that game.
Yeah, and it had like the holes out on the court, and wherever the ball landed, if it was your side, you got to flip towards the goal or the other guy on the other side.
I still have that game.
Played that for hours. I mean, so
me and my brother would play that a lot.
And then of the last two, one Christmas got a BB gun. And it was the pistol. Looked like a Luger. Yep. It was a pistol that shot darts,
I had a rifle,
pellets, and BBs.
Pump it up 10 times.
Yep. This one just had the one pump on the barrel, and then a wood burning set. So you could burn yourself at 6 years old.
I'm glad you said that. I had a wood burning set. Very young. I don't know. I was probably 10. My wife and I were just talking about
Isn't that amazing? They would give you a wood burning set.
I said I kept it in my room.
Yeah.
I just kept it in the closet. I'd get it out,
it's like
plug
a
it
soldering
in.
iron.
Well, it would get hot enough that you burnt wood. You burnt things into it. I can still smell that burnt wood smell. And it came with a bunch of wood plaques that had outlines of stuff on it, or you could then they had some blank ones. You could burn your own stuff on it. Yeah. I like the wood burning set. I used it a lot.
Yeah, they were cool. I mean, like I said, it was like a soldering iron.
It was. Yeah, it just heated up.
Did you ever burn yourself with it?
Oh, yeah. Fingers. That gets hot.
Yep. So that was just a few. I was probably a ton more I could think of. But
well, I got a few more as well. I got Shrinky Dinks. Remember Shrinky Dinks? You put them in the oven, they'd shrink down, and they were little plasticky.
Yeah,
things.
You could make like window cleans or
ornaments.
Put a stopper on.
We had, I think, a Christmas tree ornament one that we got in. You paint them up, and they were big, and you paint them. You put them in the oven, and they'd shrink down to these little smaller versions of themselves.
Like a big sheet so you could color them well. Yeah, and then they would shrink up. I think those must have stuck around forever because I think my kids did that.
I probably did. Rubik's Cubes. I had a Rubik's Cube growing up. Those are still around. They came out in 1974.
Those stress me out.
I never was able to do it.
No.
I could get one side. That's it. I've only ever been able to get one side. The Atari 2600.
Yeah.
I love that. It came out in 77. We got ours in 80. When it was already kind of on its way out.
I don't know when we got one of those.
But
we got Pong first.
Yeah, see, we never had Pong.
But ours wasn't the name brand Pong. Ours was some generic.
My aunt and uncle had
Pong. That's
We'd
probably
go out,
the name
we'd
of
play it. Now, I had an aunt and uncle that got Atari when it first came out, and we'd go over and they had bowling, and we're like, "You're playing bowling? It's amazing!"
Yeah.
So I loved Atari.
Yeah.
Yeah. We play outlaw, quick draw shooting and combat and basketball.
Yeah, he would just move around his hand out.
His hands out. But that was always fantastic.
So, Mike, are any of these ringing bells for you?
Yeah, some of the more recent ones Doug was mentioning, I was having to look up, but
Yeah.
for the most part, actually, I feel like I've heard of most of these in some form or fashion.
Light Bright.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have it. My cousins
didn't
had
either.
Light Bright, and I kind of play with that a little
I
bit.
had the more modernized, I guess, version of it growing up.
Yep. The Etch-a-Sketch. Huge. Etch-a-Sketch
Yeah,
was
we played with the
everywhere, right?
Etch-a-Sketch a lot.
I didn't have one, but I would play with one whenever we go over to somebody.
Yeah.
You'd do I could never do much with it. You do little stairs on it or
Yeah.
whatever.
And then you hand it to somebody else, and they would go and make the Statue of Liberty or something. It's
not
like,
me.
how'd you do that?
Star Wars, the Star Wars figurines. I did get those in like 1978. You got a Luke Skywalker, an R2-D2, and an X-Wing.
Yeah,
Loved it.
I was a little old for that by then.
Loved my Star Wars figurines. I also had a $6 Million Man. It was an action figure. He was the taller one. So he's like 10 inches tall maybe or something. And you could look through the back of his head and you could look through his eye and it would be red. So I was like, oh, and when you'd move, he go. I loved my $6 Million Man. It was awesome. And then we haven't forgot about you ladies. There's the Easy Bake Oven. So you got the Easy Bake Oven, put it in, you cook something with a 40-watt bulb.
Does it say what year that started, the Easy Bake Oven?
Uh,
I feel like they were around.
63.
Yeah, they were around a long time.
63. And then they also had the Susie Homemaker set.
Oh.
The Susie Homemaker set was just play stuff. It was like a play refrigerator with plastic food in it, a play.
Well, you want to teach them young.
Well, you start them with that. So all you guys out there, when you're getting married, get your wife at first the Susie Homemaker. Let her play around with the plastic stuff. Then you move her up to the Easy Bake Oven.
Then maybe try real microwave.
Then a real microwave. I'm just kidding. Everybody relax. Yeah, it said, the Easy Bake Oven came out in 63, but it was the 70s that really saw the kind of the start of, that really took off. Yeah, with the 40-watt bulb. And Betty Crocker branded product. That was the big one. You make the Betty Crocker. I think my wife had the Easy Bake Oven. Yeah, and there's the Shrinky Dinks. Oh, the Spirograph. We just saw one of those at the store.
I love the Spirograph.
My wife said, I never had that. She's like, oh, I love the Spirograph.
Yeah, they were fun.
But anyway, I think that was all I had. I think that was about finished me up. For the 60s and 70s, there was a ton more.
Oh,
I don't want to get too much more into it, but yeah, the $6 Million Man was he's 13-inch. Had the red track suit and the telescopic bionic eye and a right arm that could lift 2 pounds. Look at that.
Was there a what was the woman?
The bionic woman.
Bionic woman?
There probably was. I don't know. But you remember the Stretch Armstrongs?
Yep.
Paul, did you ever have a Stretch Armstrong?
Tracy did. My younger brother, he did.
My brother had a Stretch Incredible Hulk.
Of course.
It was like the Stretch Armstrong, but it was the Incredible Hulk. It was green, and we were pulling it and playing with it and doing different things. And one day it just broke apart, and the ooze came out of it.
Yep.
And just for fun, I was looking at different things. Like, well, we got Christmas coming up, and we tried to do different weird, fun things. And I was looking at, there's some Stretch Armstrongs. Those are, try to find something nostalgic that's get it. I thought, well, what about the Incredible Hulks? So I looked those up, and I guess they're super rare right now. They said there are only 30 known Incredible Hulks still out.
Jeez.
And they're going for $6,000 or more a piece.
Man.
I told my brother, he's like, of course they are.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Who thinks of that? When you're a kid, you don't get it to keep in the box. Like, no, I'm going to play with
you.
these.
Get it to play with.
Same with baseball cards or something. You stick them in your spokes. Or we were talking about this over Thanksgiving, and my son showed me this video that some guy did where he talks about all this nostalgic stuff that millennials now. And he said him and his buddy, they're acting like they're 12 years old, and he's got his hat on backwards. He's got Pokemon cards. He's like, oh yeah, and he's eating peanut butter. He's got peanut butter all over his hands, and he's eating a sandwich. He's got it all over. Yeah, this is this one card that's worth $1,000. I got a bunch of these. You want this one? Yeah. He's like, okay. Well, I like to take it, just put a bend in it, so I know it's mine. He's like showing all the stuff that they do. Where now, had you not done this, that'd be worth fortune. But he's like, yeah, when you're a kid, like, oh yeah, oh, it's got some peanut butter jelly. It's okay. I don't care. You get a bunch of those in every stack.
Yep.
But that's, that'll wrap that up. I got nothing else. So
I don't either. That's about all I had tonight.
Like I said, we're going to really get into some Christmas stuff the next couple episodes and keep that going. But hey, we thank you for tuning in. We're going to wrap this up. If you like the show, give us a 5-star rating, a review, hit that share button, relax, take in a deep breath, enjoy yourself, don't get offended, laugh a little bit. Things are going to be all right. We hope you're tuning in 7 days, and until then, see ya.
Later.
Peace.
Well, that wraps up another episode. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.